The global markets are bleeding heavily. Panicked retail investors sell everything in absolute desperation, but the elite do not panic. They watch the chaos, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. True wealth is never built during market rallies. It is forged in the deep shadows of a systemic crisis. While public banks collapse, private liquidators prepare to absorb their core assets. Sovereign capital moves in complete silence. It does not chase trends or follow mainstream financial news. It operates through dark liquidity pools, executing multi-billion-dollar transactions far away from public eyes. To survive the economic storm, you must stop thinking like a consumer. You need tactical protection and aggressive capital deployment. The game is rigged, but you can master its rules. Offshore structures provide the ultimate shield against nationalization. Moving wealth into elite legal jurisdictions ensures absolute sovereignty. It is not about evasion. It is about total asset preservation under pressure. When systemic liquidity drops, asset values crash across every sector. The unprepared lose their life savings in days. The tactical allocator, however, remains liquid, waiting to buy real cash flowing infrastructure. Look at the numbers and remove all emotion. Panic is an expensive luxury you cannot afford. Boardrooms are debating emergency measures right now. You must act before their policies lock you out. The global financial architecture is undergoing a massive shift. Hard assets are replacing paper promises at institutional levels. If your wealth is completely digital, you own nothing but a screen projection. Industrial production and real logistics form the bedrock of true power. Look at the shipping lanes and the automated factories. That is where real capital hides during currency debasement cycles. Sovereign wealth funds do not buy stocks. They acquire energy grids, ports, and critical tech supply chains. They position themselves above the volatility, controlling the literal framework of modern civilized society. Protecting your capital requires sophisticated legal architecture. Tiered corporate structures holding private physical assets create an impenetrable fortress. If they cannot trace it, they cannot seize your financial freedom. The ports operate all night under heavy industrial spotlights. Real trade never stops. While fiat currencies inflate to zero, tangible shipping containers hold their intrinsic value across every ocean. A pro multi-asset trader looks at 7 monitors simultaneously. Volatility is not a threat. It is the greatest vehicle for rapid capital expansion if you have the tools to execute. Behind closed doors, politicians and industrial tycoons negotiate the new rules. The public debates are just theater for the masses. True policy is dictated by those who fund the debt. High-performance computing facilities process algorithmic trades at lightning speed. Artificial intelligence is remapping global capital flows. You must align your strategy with this new technological financial reality. Private wealth management firms are taking emergency calls from terrified millionaires, but generic advice will fail you. You need customized sovereign strategies to decouple your family from failing banking systems. As public institutions face immense media scrutiny, capital flight accelerates. Billions are moving into private custody networks. The exodus is quiet, massive, and completely irreversible for the old economic guard. Industrial logistics networks function flawlessly while the banking system freezes. Real infrastructure survives any financial collapse. If you do not own tangible value, you do not own real capital. Look at the retail crowds staring helplessly at falling stock tickers. They trusted the system and lost. Wealth preservation demands that you move into hard collateral before the panic peaks. Physical gold is being loaded into secure armored vehicles. Elite families are securing their physical reserves in private subterranean vaults. They know paper money always returns to its intrinsic value. Your family office must establish a private sovereign council, map out your global assets, and eliminate all single points of failure. Diversification across institutions is the minimum requirement for survival. As private helicopters take off from skyscraper helipads, executives track the market in real time. Mobility is essential. When a jurisdiction fails, you must have the means to relocate instantly. Automated assembly lines move with lethal precision. Technology does not care about inflation or high interest rates. Investing in automated infrastructure guarantees your capital remains on the winning side. Inside dark boardrooms, the elite are closing the biggest deals of the decade. They are buying distressed companies for pennies on the dollar. This is how empires are built overnight. Private bank fortresses require strict biometric authorization to access deep liquidity reserves. The security of your capital must match the level of threat present in the macroeconomic environment. High-speed private trains transport financial experts managing sovereign debt allocations. The numbers are climbing rapidly. The debt spiral cannot be stopped, meaning cash is becoming a melting ice cube. Corporate liquidators walk through abandoned industrial complexes, restructuring massive debts. They separate the garbage from the real underlying value. You must perform the same audit on your personal portfolio. Global energy grids are the ultimate monopoly asset. Controlling power distribution means controlling economic activity itself. Elite investors prioritize these assets because humanity cannot function without constant electricity. Advanced cryptographic networks are creating new digital hard assets. Capital is migrating into decentralized networks at an exponential rate. It is an algorithmic defense mechanism against central bank manipulation. Vast cargo ships cut through rough oceans, delivering essential raw commodities. Paper contracts can fail, but a ship filled with iron ore or oil always commands immediate buying power. Set up your strategic war room with physical asset maps. Visualizing your global exposure allows you to detect vulnerabilities before the market does. True security requires constant tactical adjustment. Industrial robotic cranes organize tons of physical bullion deep underground. Automated security protocols ensure that this wealth remains untouched by political instability. This is the definition of deep capital. Hostile takeovers are planned in absolute secrecy. Corporate raiders identify weak companies with high cash reserves and strike without warning. The financial world is predatory. You are either the hunter or the prey. Refinery flames light up the night sky as oil tankers navigate strategic straits. Energy is the master resource. Without it, no economy can produce wealth. Position your capital near the source. In elite auditoriums, major sovereign allocators demonstrate the massive upcoming market shift. The capital rotation has already begun. If you are slow to react, you will fund their next profit cycle. Deep within central mint vaults, physical wealth is reallocated under maximum security. Infrared laser grids protect the core collateral. The institutional elite are preparing for an unprecedented monetary reset. A custom laptop displays real-time capital flight vectors across the globe. Trillions are moving out of public banks. Executing massive market orders requires precision, timing, and absolute anonymity. High-speed rail networks transport strategic industrial metals across continents. The doors of elite vaults lock tight. The physical world is securing its value while the digital world faces massive inflation. The seal of a global central bank is carved into solid stone. It represents an old illusion of absolute power, but the green breakout lines on the trading floor prove otherwise. The sovereign asset allocator looks down at the lit financial capital below. The system is chaotic, but his wealth is secure. True dominance comes from mastering tactics, liquidity, and sovereign protection.